Okay.
We are live with Midweek Motivation. Our
What's up?
special guest today is iAm Jones.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Is Superman, superhero, Renaissance man.
Uh-huh.
This man is a filmmaker,
Uh-huh.
writer,
Uh-huh.
dancer, singer,
Uh-huh.
actor,
You ain't
father.
lying. You ain't lying by
Y'all,
none of it.
he is all of these things, and we're gonna talk about all these things today.
All of them.
So
That's a
let's
lot.
hop straight into this interview. We're
Okay.
gonna try and make it compact.
I'm trying to share you right now. All right, I'm listening. Let's do
All
it.
right. So tell us what drew you to being a filmmaker and writer, actor and singer, and what drew you to dance. This
Whoa.
multi-talented
Yeah.
Renaissance man. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it down. So first, what drew you to being a filmmaker and a writer?
Well, I was born a writer.
Okay.
I was born a writer.
Makes
But
sense.
my mother's a writer. My grandfather was a writer.
Okay.
So I kind of got into it. I had a very active imagination as a child. And writing was a way that I could really express myself without
Yes.
anybody really knowing. So I could make
Okay.
all the mistakes I wanted to make. I could say exactly what I wanted to say,
Yes.
which was never a thing outside of writing.
Yes.
So that's why I became a writer, for expression. And then I wanted to be a good writer, so I started reading, and
Okay.
I started listening to the Most High when He spoke. So when I didn't follow what was said, I listened, and that's how I became a writer.
Yes.
Filmmaking, I wanted to be a filmmaker because people believe what they see.
Wow.
And no one is an exception to that.
Yes.
So if I could shape that, if I could help shape that, I can make them see what I want to see, or I make them see something better than what they have been seeing, especially for Black people in America.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a little bit. So hold that thought.
Sure.
And so, what drew you to singing and dancing, being a singer and a dancer?
Singing, my mother made me sing the first time I remember. Oh, yeah. And she told me that I've been singing since before I could talk, which was, something.
Big.
Yeah, that's big. So she said I was in a car seat or something. I was just started singing scales. Like, I was like, okay, so that'll work. So I've been doing that.
Yes. Blessing us.
Dancing is another one of, it's like writing. It's another one of those expression things. Something I can do without any limitations or being made to feel any way. A lot of it I did in secret.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how I got into that. I think the light is making my eyes red.
Oh no.
Red dot in my eye.
You're good. Yeah, you turn it off. There we go. Yeah. And so tell us about your journey coming from the US to move to the UK, which is a big move.
That's a long story. That's a long story.
A long story. Okay, try and shorten it up for us a little bit. Just give us a peek into your story.
Well, it started off in France, going from here to France to do some work, and then jumping over to the UK when that didn't work, and the woman and all kinds of, and dragons and and armies and White Walkers and all that stuff. So that's how I got to
the UK. Okay, okay.
That's how I got to the UK. Yeah.
So moving on to the next question. What are some of your favorite memorable moments from your filmmaking and acting careers?
Ooh. Well, doing my senior film was very memorable.
Okay.
Writing and directing. At that point, I realized how much it took to do so.
Yes.
So that's, I think the couple most memorable times is when I had to do like a love scene.
Okay.
And if you are a dancer or if anything or any type of artist is expressive, people just assume that you're a people person.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like you just not shy. You don't ever get nervous. None of that stuff. But
Right.
let me tell you, the first time I did a sex scene, I had to just to get comfortable. I had to walk around holding the girl's hand for like 15, 20 minutes just to get
Oh,
touching a stranger. I ain't know her like that.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
And so I had to pretend like I was in love and all the other stuff that goes into it. So
Yes.
that was a memorable moment. I did it twice. I did it
Okay.
very recently and a long time
Okay.
ago. It is still the same amount of nerves because I'm like,
Oh,
even though she's my friend, I've
right.
never known or seen her or felt her in that capacity. So
Right.
it was
Right.
like, okay, I had to transform how I'm thinking just to make the scene work. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. And so, what advice do you have to kids who dream of being a writer or a dancer, for instance?
Writer or dancer?
Yes.
Well, a dancer, I'm gonna need you to have some innate rhythm, and that's nothing. That's something that God can only give you. So
Yes.
if you ain't got that, you can move on to something else. It's cool. It's cool. But for all the writers, I would say what Maya Angelou said. Maya Angelou said, "Speak the truth. If you want to be a writer, it's gonna take courage and imagination." And
Yes.
that's what I would give, no matter what you're writing about, no matter if it's fiction, nonfiction, poetry, movies, short films, whatever you're going to write, it's going to take imagination, it's going to take courage, because eventually you're going to have to say, for lack of a better phrase, thus saith the Lord. And that's never, ever, ever an easy route. So
Yes.
strap yourself
And
in.
so, what did you
I said, so strap yourself in, son. Get ready for it.
say? Yes. So, getting back to that question that I mentioned earlier, why, in your own words, are Black filmmakers so important in a time where we are just starting to be recognized, for example, by the Oscars or the Tony or the Academy Awards, as people of color?
Well, I'll get to recognition in a minute. But
Okay.
Black filmmakers, as in Black anything, is important to the
Yes.
Black community because, like I said, people believe what they see,
Yes.
and they're always saying, "Well, how do we change the narrative?" Well, you get new writers.
Well,
It's kind of easy math. You know what I'm saying? We
yes.
always think our solution is in some complicated. It's 1 + 1 = 2, or sometimes 3 or more or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So our voice is important because nobody can tell our story the way we do.
Right.
And as far as recognition, I think us being accepted by ourselves is more important than other folks accepting us.
Yes.
Because
That's
it
true.
doesn't matter if other folks accept us if we don't accept and love ourselves.
Yes. And so, as a filmmaker, let's take that thought. Thinking about like the Tyler Perrys of the world, he's made a lot of statements recently, about, especially on Black AF. He's talking about how he doesn't need to be accepted by Rotten Tomato, or he doesn't need to be accepted by all these other people. What do you think about people who criticize Tyler Perry for the type of work that he does?
There's always a critic for everything. You know what I'm saying? All those critics, all those so-called critics.
Right.
If he were to be like, yo, I'll give you some money to get your stuff done, they'll take it in a heartbeat.
Yes.
So that's not a true criticism. That's just opportunist. That's just you hopping on the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? I remember Tyler Perry before I ever saw Tyler Perry movie. I saw his plays.
Okay.
His plays were freaking hilarious. I saw plays before I knew who or what he was anyway.
Right.
Freaking hilarious. I was like, what? And I was a kid watching it. Like, I don't understand all the concepts, but I know this is funny.
Right.
I know this is freaking hilarious, and I completely and totally agree with him. It's the same. It's the same concept of acceptance throughout our community when people name their children Sarah instead of Tamika.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it looks better in the application. Whose application?
Right. Yeah.
Why? Why would you want to be accepted by that?
Why not
James
create your
Baldwin,
own lanes?
exactly. James Baldwin, he said, when people talk about equal, it's always assumed that it's the Negro that needs to be equal. What do I want to be equal to? A bunch of murderers and thieves?
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, it
Well,
gets that deep. You know
yes,
what I'm saying?
yes,
I named Judah. I named my child the way I named her because she's not. I don't want her to be subject to bullshit. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? If she wants to go work at Walmart, by all means. If she don't, then by all means. I'm not shaping her. I'm not shaping
Right.
her name and her identity to fit into a society that's probably gonna
Yes.
hate her when she gets of age anyway.
Right. Might as
So
well
I'd
give her
rather
a
stick to
strong
my
name.
name.
Yes.
I'd rather stick to my niggas and see what's gonna happen with that.
Yes. Okay. So, what would you tell yourself at the beginning of your career? What would you tell yourself looking back? What words would you give yourself?
Take your time.
Take your time.
I would tell myself, even up until what I learned today recently,
Okay.
that you have to seriously train your subconscious and really focus on what you want.
So important.
You can set your mind. You can do anything you set your mind to, but
So
first
true.
you have to set your mind, and that's what I would tell myself because I was always, and that kind of came. That's kind of how I got my name. That's how I named myself, my artist name or whatever.
I
Because
am.
are you a singer? Are you a poet? Are you a dancer? Are you what? And I went through like a whole bunch of names in
Yeah.
my head and in my mind, and that was I was reading Exodus as all Seventh-day Adventists do, present and and,
Yeah.
and Moses was talking to God, and he said, "Well, who do I say sent me?" And he says, "Tell him I am sent you.
I
I am
am.
what I am. So
That's
anything
it.
I need to be, I am. I become." You know what I'm
There we
saying?
go.
So I would tell myself to set my mind and focus and don't accept people's limitations, but take their criticism into consideration.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right now. So, next question. How are you staying encouraged during this time frame, and how have you been affected by COVID-19 and the quarantine?
How am I staying encouraged? I have a lot of good people around me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of good people around me, a lot of good
Good
friends,
support network.
a lot of good family, and like we are determined to be okay.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? We have
Yes.
Skype parties. We eat food together. We watch movies together. We listen to music. We send each other music. We keep
Yes.
we keep the wheel rolling.
That is so important.
And COVID has affected me as it affects the whole world. It just
Yeah.
it kind of put a hindrance on the gathering part of what I do.
Right.
Because
Yes.
I also sing in musical theater. So
Right.
people have to come to the theater
Yes. Yes.
for there to be a show.
And
You
they're
know?
not open.
So you know what I'm saying? It's just a short little pause button
Yeah.
that play will be hit pretty soon anyway. So we're not worried.
We're not worried.
We're not worried.
All right. We just have a couple questions left. So, what advice do you have to give? We're almost there.
Oh, made it through.
We made it through. We made it through. Yes. So, what advice do you have to give to young dads like yourself during the quarantine season? How have you explained it to your children if you have had that conversation?
All right, we'll take that piece by piece.
Yes. 2 questions.
What advice would I give young dads?
Yeah.
Just try. No, for real. Whatever capacity you can or are allowed to be in your kid's life, just try. Because at that age, no matter what age that age is.
Mm.
You're their freaking hero.
They need you.
They need you. Just try. Even if, and I quick story. I tried to my daughter's 3rd birthday.
Okay.
I tried to have the party at my apartment. And this is
Okay.
when I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know if you know anything about Phoenix.
Hot.
But it's not cool. And her birthday is August. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
So I had bought some decorations. I bought balloons and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And when I say that birthday party failed tremendously,
Oh
it was
no.
possibly the worst thing I had ever put together in my life.
Oh no.
But Judah was happy as a little baby.
Oh.
All she saw was some giant, bright neon pink balloons that said 3. And Daddy is singing, and there's cake, and a couple of her friends are there. Her mommy is there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
just try. And the COVID conversation, I think it might be. It depends. It depends on the
age.
maybe not even the age. It's basically what you were doing beforehand. My daughter is homeschooled. Her mom homeschools her.
Okay.
So not much really changed for
Right.
Jill.
Right.
Except you notice people are at the house a lot more than they used to be. You know?
Yes.
So yeah, it just depends on where you are in that.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So, second to last question. 2 questions left. The last question is easy. What words would you like to leave our audience with, iAm Jones, on this episode of Midweek Motivation?
What words would I like?
What words would you like to leave the audience with?
Let me think.
Yes, let's just simmer in your spirit.
Let me hold on. Let me get myself together.
Yes.
Rebel, but be wise.
Say that one more time for the people.
Rebel, but be wise.
But be wise. Okay. Yeah. And so, iAm Jones, how can we find you on social media? And how can we support?
Don't do that. You can't find me nowhere. I'm a ghost nigga. No, I'm joking.
How can we support your work?
So on Instagram, which is where I'm at mostly.
Yes.
Is Mr. So Mr. _ Guy Jones, GUYJONES. Excuse me. And how you can support, I got a song coming out in a little bit. When I post it, repost it, listen to it. I have some artwork for sale right now.
Okay.
I'm constantly putting on Instagram. So that's how you can support me right now. Yeah.
Yes. So we want to support the artists.
Yeah. Send $1 to my Cash App. You know what I'm saying?
What is the Cash App?
Let's get this rolling. So it's $, obviously. Cash App is $, GKJ85.
GKJ85.
All one word.
Simple enough. Simple enough.
Send $1. See what happens.
Send $1. You can't holler for $1.
Holler for $1. Do some strange for change.
Yes. So this has been an awesome episode of Midweek Motivation. I want to thank you so much, iAm Jones, for coming on here and blessing the people with your presence and with your words of encouragement. So with that, y'all, we are out.
Peace.
Peace.